Ever since I moved to the Philippines, I keep on hearing about the prices of goods and food and pretty much everything here in Canada. They say that the inflation is off the roof. And already before I even moved to the Philippines 2 years ago, I have to admit that the cost of living in Canada has always been a little bit more expensive than the cost of living in the Philippines. Well, you can also consider that here in Canada there are higher wages in terms of how much people earn, and the salaries and even the minimum salaries are much higher compared to salaries and overall income in the Philippines, right? But quite frankly, even considering all of those things, I'm still a little bit curious about how much has it actually increased. Let me show you the situation of my fridge at the moment. Pretty much all I have is some pasta sauce that my stepmother made for me, so I have it. But I don't even have the pasta to cook and match it with. So I decided to just go and get all of the things that I need for at least the next upcoming days. I don't want to buy too much. Let me get ready and let's go to the grocery store. And see, as you can imagine, the weather today is most definitely a lot colder than the last time that I went out. But at least we have some sun, so the day is kind of nice. And for those of you who were concerned about me last time, asking me about going out in this cold with the sneakers, don't worry about it. I actually managed to find my winter boots, so I think I'm a little bit more protected than the last time. So this is where I'm taking you guys today. This is called Super C. It's one of the common and popular supermarkets here in Montreal. I know that the C stands for something. I'm not quite sure what it is. For the longest time, I thought it was for super cheap, but I don't think that's it, to be honest. This is the type of grocery stores that you come to find all sort of essentials. You don't really come here for any specialized or really foreign or fancy products. But right now, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I think that I can find at least the essentials that I need for the rest of the week. For other things such as my shirataki rice and more like arte things, I will have to go somewhere else. It's time, everybody. I've been in Canada for a little bit over 2 days at this point, and let me tell you, everyone, my neighbors, my family, everyone has been super accommodating and welcoming with me. I had dinner a couple of times with my neighbors. I went to visit my family, but the time has come for me to do the adulting. So I had to go and get myself some groceries, food, snacks, and all of the essentials that one does need in order to survive. So I wanted to share this with you guys and make a little bit of a haul, because for the past couple of weeks, well, I would say more than weeks, maybe for the past couple of months, I've been hearing a lot of conversations surrounding the prices in Canada when it comes to the groceries and all of those things. So maybe I could share the things that I buy, first of all, in my grocery list, but also how much money I do spend on this type of things. I actually wanted to film this video at the grocery store, so I started recording earlier. I went to the grocery. Maybe I'll share some of that footage right here. But as soon as I entered the grocery store, I realized there's just too many people. I'm going to burden everyone basically with my camera, so I decided not to push for it. Instead, we're gonna do a little bit of a haul. And before we jump into it, because I know some of you might be interested in what type of things we buy over here, I just want to say, for context, I am just one person here, so I buy groceries for one. This will last me for a little bit over a week. And this is not your typical groceries, weekly groceries, because I did buy a lot of things that usually you buy once in a while, such as oil and some seasonings and stuff. So take that into consideration. So because I do want to make a little bit of a comparison with what I used to pay a couple of years ago when I was here in Canada. Normally for myself, it will be something around $60 to $75 mark on a weekly grocery, I will say. But remember, usually it lasts a little bit more than a week for me because I don't eat that much. And I think that's enough of me talking. Let's get into the grocery list, because I'm excited to share all of the things that I got with you guys. I'll just put these ones here so that we can talk. I have the receipt with the final amount that I will reveal at the very end of this video so that you guys can know how expensive or inexpensive it is to do groceries in Canada. Also, let me know if you guys will buy something like these things that I'm buying today, or if you will just go for something completely different. So anyways, the first thing that I bought was this crispy minis. I really love this. This is like rice cakes, which are very low in calorie. And right now, I mentioned a couple of times, and you will probably hear me mention it again on this video. I am on a diet, so I try as much as I can to stay away from high calorie, saturated fats, overly processed type of things. This is processed, let's not lie to ourselves, but it's really not bad for the amount of calories that you get. I usually have this. Next, I bought a rotisserie chicken, which I know, guys, is not everyone's cup of tea, but listen, it saves you a bunch of time. It is not fried, it's grilled. So it's technically in pair with my diet, so I can't really complain when it comes to that. And it's actually really delicious. I used to buy this all the time when I was here before, and I never had any major complaints. The price of this one was $11.99 Canadian dollars, which if you convert to US dollars is probably around $9.99 or $9. So for the convenience of it, I always get a rotisserie chicken. All right, I bought some tomatoes. These are, I'm gonna be honest, I miss the Canadian tomatoes because here tomatoes are so huge. You guys know, if you are watching me from the Philippines or even countries like Cuba, the tomatoes are not that big all the time. You really have to look for them, and the average tomato is, I don't know, pretty small, something like this. Compare it with the size of these ones. I usually have one per meal, so I bought 5, so that's 5 different meals for me. I bought this big ass avocado, only one. I don't eat it fully. This will last me probably for 3 different meals, 3 different servings. This is a Latin American avocado, so I can cut it and just slice it. Nice and healthy. So this is more on the veggie side of things. Let's continue with the veggies. 2 big cucumbers. I do like cucumbers quite a lot. I eat them every meal if I can, and honestly, recently I discovered that they actually make perfect snacks, so I can just have my cucumbers anytime. There was a TikTok trend a couple of months ago with the cucumbers, so maybe I will try those. I don't know, I never tried it, but I do love cucumbers. They're very delicious. Of course, some eggs. Anyone who is on a diet or just simply healthy habits, eggs are always a great option. So natural eggs. I'm not sure if these are organic or free range type of eggs. It's just eggs, so it is what it is. I brought some dry shallots. I do like shallots a lot, and I use them for cooking. I use them for seasoning. I add them to my salad. It's just amazing. And I also bought some garlic. So this is more on the, I would say, seasoning type of things, but it's not seasoning, but give flavor to the food whenever I do cook. So there's that. I bought some frozen carrots and peas. I like to use this whenever I am cooking some meats that I can just add, or if I'm sauteing veggies and whatnot, I can add this, and it's a perfect addition. It's already cut, it's frozen, so you can just put it in the fridge and forget about it. So pretty practical. Now this is something that I usually don't buy, but I was tempted because recently in the Philippines, I started drinking Milo. But usually I don't drink hot chocolate because of the sugar, right? But this one says that it's léger or light, basically, so the amount of sugar is less. So for this one, whenever you prepare it, for each pocket you get 45 calories only. So because of that, I was okay with it. And there's only 8 grams of sugar. So I think it's pretty diet friendly in the overall scheme of things. I will probably not have it daily, but I will definitely have it. This is just an already prepared sandwich that I got for myself because today I didn't have much time to cook. So I'll probably have a sandwich and just have dinner later tonight. It's just a chicken spread sandwich, so nothing too fancy. Also not super diet friendly, but since I haven't eaten at all, it's not the end of the world, right? Healthy boundary, guys. You don't have to go crazy with it. So that's it for the first bag. It's empty. Now let's move on to the second grocery bag. This is the sweetener basically that I use for my coffee. It can be stevia, it can be Splenda, it can be anything. This is actually the home brand, like the generic brand of the supermarket where I went, which is Super C. I'm not sure how good this one is, but there's no sugar and it's supposed to sweeten, so how bad can it actually be, right? So there it is. I brought some apples. Look at this bag. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 apples for the price of $5. This is actually a good deal, I believe. Right now, some of the tropical fruits are a bit expensive, I would say, because we are not in the season. It's winter time here, so most fruits and everything is imported. I got apples because apples are, I believe, Canadian grown. Here you can see it says Canada Fancy Quebec Farms, or a product of Quebec. So basically, because it's produced here, you don't have to pay as much, as there are no import taxes or anything of the sorts. Whew. All right, I showed you that I have nothing on my fridge except for the sauce that my parents prepare with some meat for spaghetti. I did not have spaghetti, so I got this one. This is the fettuccine spaghetti, which are some of my favorites. I've never seen them actually in the Philippines, so if you have seen this green spaghetti, let me know. I have never seen it. The color comes basically from spinach and roasted garlic, so it tastes so good, and it just looks different, so it spices up your average spaghetti. Some basmati, some jasmine rice, because I love rice. I knew that to this store where I was going, I was not gonna be able to find any shirataki rice, so I'm gonna have to live with that. Probably I'll have to get it from Amazon or some online store, but it's okay. Jasmine rice will do the trick for now. I will just be very mindful of the portion, because yes, there's a lot of calories in rice, and usually this is the criminal, the guilty one that takes me over the limit of my daily calorie intake. So I have to be very mindful with that. I did buy as well some ground beef. This is the extra lean beef. I got, how many grams we have here? So 448 grams for $6.41. It's not bad at all, actually. I would say it is similar to what I pay in the Philippines for ground beef, although this is extra lean ground beef, which I have never seen in the Philippines, to be honest. It's easy to cook, it's fast, it's pretty healthy. I can pair it with my carrots and peas and just add some dried shallots and garlic. It's a good addition. These are the things out that I told you that I bought, and it's not something that you buy every single time, but once in a while. I got some extra virgin oil. I try as much as I can to cook with extra virgin olive oil because it's healthier. It's not as saturated. You get more benefits from it than your regular vegetable oil. I bought this bottle of vinegar, which I like to put on my salad. I like to clean my meats with vinegar. In this case, the chicken is already cooked, so no need to wash it with vinegar, but I can add it to the beef and I cook it with it. It's very multi-purpose. And also, I don't know if you guys do this, but I like to clean around the house with vinegar. Some people think that it makes everything stink, but in reality, no. It's very nice. All right. Whew. It's been a couple of months since I decided to make the change and try to stay away from dairy as much as I can. I'm not one of those who is dairy-free completely. I love my ice cream, I love my cheese, I love my things. But I decided to reduce the amount of milk that I drink or dairy that I consume by changing to a plant-based option for milk. So I got this one. It's a zero sugar oat milk. So I've been having oat milk in the Philippines for quite some time. Initially, I thought I wouldn't like it or I wouldn't get used to it. But in fairness, no complaints. I actually really like it, and I do prefer it to regular milk, especially oat milk. Almond milk, not so much. Soy milk, it's hit or miss depending on the brands, but oat milk, so good. And last but definitely not least, I have some coffee. I like to buy Nescafe. It's one of my favorites. This is just the classic taster's choice. I'm a coffee person. I love to drink coffee, And I don't really have like a brewing machine or anything for coffee, so I just get the instant one, and it does the trick because I can adjust it. If I want it darker, I just add more. If I want it lighter, I just add less. It's pretty easy and straight to the point, and the flavor is there and no complaints. So let me show you now everything that I got. Here it is, the overall haul of everything that I bought today. When it comes to the food that I'll be eating for the next week. As much as possible, I think that most things are unprocessed, healthy, natural. Some of them are already prepared, such as the peas and the carrots that are already cut and frozen, but we still have the tomatoes, the avocados, the cucumbers, the apples. These are also produce from the earth. The only processed things that I got are probably the rice cakes, the pasta. What else? I don't know if we can count the sweetener though. That's pretty much it. So in the grand scheme of things, I think I'm doing pretty well in terms of all of that. Now wait lang, because I know a lot of you are wondering, Luis, how much did you pay for all of this? Is it true what they say that there is so much inflation in Canada and that prices are off the roof? And well, the time has come for me to tell you. Initially, I mentioned that back in the day, I used to pay around $60 to $75 for my weekly grocery, I would say. This time around, with all of the things that I ended up paying, which here they are, this is the whole list, the total comes to, I don't know if you can see, $98.09. So this is $98.09 Canadian. If you are in the US, this is probably around 79 US dollars. But as I said, I did buy a couple of things that I don't have to buy all the time, such as the olive oil, vinegar, coffee. There's a couple of those things. I bought the rice as well. The eggs really last me a long time. Same thing for the cut carrots and whatnot. So usually if I was already here in Canada and this was not a bigger grocery because I just came back and I need to pretty much refill on everything, I think I would have been able to stick to the average price that I normally pay. My suspicions are that I did notice while I was at the grocery store that a lot of other goods are a bit more expensive, especially more processed and produced things, which I did stay away from, such as chips, chocolates, candy, cereals, and different kinds of cheese and all of those things. So perhaps if I was buying into those things, I would really see a bigger difference. But I think that for everything that I got, I'm still pretty much close to my previous budget. So let me know, what do you guys think down below? How much do you pay for your groceries? Wherever you are watching this from, the US, Canada, Philippines, Cuba, wherever you are, I want to know, because if I can get a deal, your boy's gonna go after that deal. All right, thanks for watching guys, another vlog, and I will see you on the next one.